Sawadee krap, my name is Danny. I am living here in Phangan, Thailand. I'm the owner and the founder of Breeze Surf Club. We have been around for quite a while. I have been kite surfing over here on Phangan for the past 14 years. That makes me the most experienced, the only kiter that kite here more than anyone. And I'm also organized competition. I'm also part of KTA Kite Tour Asia, so I go around and help everyone out as far as competition wise. So I could be on the boat, rescue boat, or I could be on DJing. So luckily I could do many things. So today what I want to talk about is as a beginner kiteboarder, what you could expect, or if you want to learn how to kite surf, what to expect. So I'm going to introduce you. If you don't know, you don't know. I'm going to introduce you to the world of kite surfing and what it's all about. Because sometimes we think we're getting good experience, but we might not get good experience. So we have a little puppy over here. Anyway, all right. So the first thing about kite surfing is, if you're new to this, the location is location. Where you're going to be learning should be a beginner location. Most of the time when I hear people all around the world from their experience, oh, I'm learning on deep water with the boat, I'm learning with very big waves and the wind was gusty, very strong, and some of them have accident. And once you have accident in the beginning of your journey, what it does is this mental block you, and what's gonna happen is you're gonna get scared all the time. And one of the worst thing about kite surfing when you learn is fear. And this is my job, this is my instructor job, to make sure that we take that fear out. The kite is scary, the wind is scary, the kite could pick you up in the air, the kite could pick you and your instructor up in the air. So it's very important that we learn how to manage the power very well. If the wind is super strong, things go wrong very quickly. The wind could pick you up in the air very quickly, and it's very scary. So the first thing about learning kite surfing is wind speed. The wind speed has to be good. If you take a look in any kite range, wind range, it will show you, okay, a 12 square meter, a 14 square meter, where the lowest wind range will be around 10 to 12 knots, the maximum wind range will be 20, and they will put down advanced rider on the bottom and then advanced rider on the high wind range of it. So it takes an advanced rider to ride in a very strong wind, and also advanced rider to ride in very low wind. So we like to teach around in the middle. When we're using a small kite, it moves very fast, but if we use a big medium-sized kite around 12, 14 square meter, 13 square meter, those will move slower. What happens when it moves slower? You have more time to react to the kite. Therefore, it's very forgiving, meaning you have plenty of time to react. If something go wrong, it's not so bad. So the first thing is kite size, wind speed is very important. The wind speed we like to teach from 12 knots, 15 knots is it's progression time. Anything go wrong at all in 12 to 15 knots, all you have to do is let go. You can activate the safety release system. It will kill the power of the kite by 90%. So that 10% is still a lot when you get caught in 40 knots. That 10% is still pulling you. Even though the kite dropped in the water already, it could still pull you very hard. So it's very easy, very manageable, and mentally you're not scared of it at 12 to 15 knots. 17 knots, if you're a little bit heavier guy, it's awesome. So it goes by wind speed, kite size, and also your body weight. It's physics. It's simple physics. If you're a heavier guy, you're gonna need to use a bigger kite, and you're gonna need more wind. If you're a smaller person, the hardest part of a smaller person is you do not have enough counterweight against the kite. Therefore, when you drop the kite in the water, you have to lean back against the kite. If you're only 50 kilos, very hard to counterweight with the kite. So you have to make sure you go in shallow walkable water. What does that mean? Shallow walkable water is number 2. If the water is up to your knees, not above your chest, around your waist is good. I like it around here. Under your waist is good because you have most of your body weight to counterweight with the kite. If you lose your board as a beginner kiteboarder, you will lose your board. So therefore, you could just stop the power of the kite, walk back, grab your board, and walk back wherever you have to. And if you get in trouble, my kite is inverted or something happened to the kite, I could just kill the power of the kite, activate the safety release, walk to the kite, wrap up the line, and bring everything back. You're not risking losing your equipment. You're not risking swimming for 2 hours and hours. So flat shallow walkable water is your number 2. Number 3 is learn about the area that you're going to be kite surfing very, very well, because sometimes the wind change direction, sometimes the wind change speed. Is there any underwater current? Is there anything in the water that could hurt you at all? Sea urchin, sharks, or anything at all? Stoneware, the stone, is there any underwater current? So super duper important. Also, most of the time when you go kiting, you're not going to be the only one. So sometimes some of the places very, very busy. If you go to Tarifa on a good windy day, you could get 300 kiters, and they only have 50 meters for people to launch and go in and go out. That's like learning how to drive on the first day in Bangkok or Manhattan, which is not recommended for beginner at all. So you want some place more forgiving, some place more manageable. Understand the weather. How does the weather change? Does the wind change direction with thermic? Does the wind change direction because of the heat, of the storm coming in? Thunder and lightning, we don't play around with that. We got hit by lightning one time, like it's lightning nearby, and it's still static electricity. It still could hit you very hard, and it's not fun at all. So thunder and lightning, don't go out kiting. Very, very important. So we don't teach when the wind is super duper low, because let's say you go out with a 17 square meters, these kites are very slow and it's floaty. They don't need that much wind, 8 knots wind, 10 knots wind. It's already flying in the air. However, it's very slow. It's not responsive at all. So you turn the kite, you have to saturate the turn. When you drop the kite in the water, it's harder to get back up in the air. If you're only 50 kilo, it's very hard to relaunch these kites, because they're going to be dragging you, they're going to be pulling you. So some people get discouraged because I can't get the kite back up in the air, it just keep dragging me, and it's not fun for small people, especially the female. The women will get more scared. When you feel like you're not in control, it's not fun at all. So you want to make sure you use the right size for the right wind speed, and for also your body weight to make sure. So, and when the wind is too strong, we don't like to teach over 20 knots unless the student has really good reaction time, meaning if they adapt to the kite, they could move the kite very well, they don't get scared, and they know what to do when the wind gets stronger. We don't like to teach the lesson on very strong wind. We could do it on the second lesson and on the board, but the person has to be able to manage the kite speed when we use smaller kite. So if we have an older guy who's a little bit older and he likes to pull the bar a little more, and his reaction time is slower than the kite, we will make sure he goes around 12 square meter, 14, 13, 15 is the max size that we use here, and to make sure that it's accommodate the right person. Very, very important. So the equipment is number 1. When we first teaching, when you get on the board, we use a very big board. The big board is very easy for the person to manage. The big board take the bumps very well. The big board also you plane very quickly. Also, with the big board, you get on, as soon as you get on the board, it will get you going right away. So the big board, we call them the door. It's like 160 centimeter long and very, very wide. The width of the board is very important. It will get you up against the wind very easy. So once you become a better rider, then we give you a smaller board. So that's very important when you start learning kite surfing. Very important. The environment has to be number 1. So very important. So right here, Bantai Beach, we have flat, shallow, walkable water. During January, mid-January is still deep, and then February, around mid-February is good. March is good. April, the wind will be lower, but it's still fine for a lighter rider, and we could teach in that also. And then in May, at the end of May, then we have storm wind coming in at the end of May. June, the season will change, the west wind will come, and then it'll be very, very stormy and everything all the way until August, all the way until September. Sometimes some September is really, really good here in Koh Phangan, Thailand, and then after September is the saddest time of the year. October, November, people cry. Kite surfer, if you just bought a kite in October, you're not going to be using that until the end of November. Usually around mid-November, sometimes we get a storm rolling in and we could be riding. And we have northeast on Koh Phangan, and we go on the north side of the island or the east side of the island. And those are very hard spot to ride. We have more waves. The wind will be onshore, meaning if you make a mistake, the wind will be pulling you in. You get picked up by the kite, you end up on the tree. So very, very important. And the waves could also tumble your kite and wrap your lines around yourself. So northeast season lasts all the way in The best time is like the end of the year. That's when we have the best wind and the really big waves. Sometimes it lasted all the way until February. So most of the time it's until January. So that's it for beginner kiteboarder. I hope that's enough information for you to make a decision on your journey into kite surfing. Very important that you choose the right equipment, the right gear, and the right spot, and also the right instructor. Someone who's patient, someone who's friendly, and someone understand your mental state. Some people more scared than the other. There's some people that's not scared of anything, and those are crazy kiteboarder. But we all want to make sure that we teach everyone to be a respectful kite surfer, to be very safe kite surfer. This is a community. We don't want to create another asshole in the water, because then it's annoying. Okay, there's a very good driver, there's a bad beginner driver. That's forgiving, because you know, as a beginner we need that journey, we need to get better by practicing, right? But after you become a good kiteboarder, you have to respect the beginner space, you have to respect the area, and you have to be, yeah, of course you're going to be pushing yourself harder and doing tricks and stuff, but you have to understand there's other people. This is a community sport. If you're the only kiter in the water, then who cares? Do whatever you want. But if there's other people in the water, and swimmer and boats and whatnot, you have to pay attention to all your surrounding and respect the spot. So that's about it. So I hope you have a good journey on kite surfing, and I wish you lots of luck and enjoyment. If you cannot make it to Breeze Surf Club, have fun anywhere else in the world. Thank you, Kap. สวัสดีครับ